Hello guys, this is Jackie and Zach once again in our kitchen with a great video for you, part 2 of our spaghetti squash bolognese. So Zach is going to prepare for you the bolognese sauce and take notes guys. Here we go.
Alright, so we'll just start with a hot pan, and I just add a little bit of olive oil, probably about a tablespoon to 2. I don't always measure that, but it's healthy, and I like to add it's a big part of a good sauce, so I don't shy away from the olive oil. So go ahead and add a few onions there. This is about, using a pound of ground meat in the bolognese, I like to use about a half of an onion. So you have 2 pounds, maybe a whole onion at that point. And with onions, anytime you sweat them down, you just want to add a little bit, pinch of salt, just brings up the sweetness in them a little bit. Okay, so we're just going to sweat those down for just a second, get them a little bit soft before we add anything else. Here I got 2 cloves of garlic. I just kind of rough chop them and add those in, get those cooking down a little bit as well. And then as those soften up a little bit, I'll go ahead and add, this is grass-fed ground beef that I bought from Sprouts. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in there. Now we want to cook the beef, like, we want to brown it out pretty good. We want to keep it like, we don't want it raw when we start to add all the tomatoes and stuff. We want this to cook in pretty good. So we'll actually give this just a couple of minutes. So I'll talk about some of the ingredients I like to put into my bolognese sauce. I have just a little bit of sugar. This will balance out a little bit of the acidity in the tomatoes. I have some chopped tomatoes. You can use just regular store-bought canned, which is good because they're really ripe, or San Marzano are really good. This is a half of a small can of tomato paste. I got some dried herbs that I'll explain, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of wine. So basically that's the basis of the sauce. It's not a lot of ingredients. It's really good as long as you use the right ratios as you cook those ingredients. So I'm going to hit that back up to high a little bit, see if we can get the beef to brown out a little bit better. This is a really good sauce. I mean, this is a sauce that I would use anytime on pasta too. But in this case, when we use the squash, I mean, it's just so much healthier. You got a lot more vitamins and minerals in there, a lot of fiber, a lot less higher glycemic starches and things that can be troublesome to us, especially if we're trying to lose weight, but also if we're just trying to be as healthy as we can be. We don't want to become so starch and carbohydrate dependent all the time. We want to definitely be able to eat healthier and depend on the most nutrient-dense things to fuel us. So is this beef almost brown? I will add at this point the tomato paste. I guess kind of get that spread around with the beef. It's kind of thick, so it's kind of nice just to get it spread around, coated a little bit. I'm spilling this everywhere. Of course. All right. Now at this point, I like to add a splash of wine. And always, when I'm cooking with wine, you always want to use a wine that you would drink. You don't want to use that cooking wine or anything like that. I give it a good splash of that. That's going to add just a nice balance to the sauce, a lot of really well-rounded flavors. If you're worried about the alcohol, it just all cooks out in it anyway. So you don't really have a lot of alcohol back in the sauce. So with the kids and everything, you don't have to worry about it. You're just going to have that nice flavor of the reduced wine in there. Then I go ahead and add my chopped tomatoes. I go ahead and keep the juice that comes with the tomatoes, and I add that in there. That's about a half of a big can or a small can of tomatoes. Now I got a little trick. I got this from Gordon Ramsay. He likes to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Italians don't typically use Worcestershire sauce, but I find it does add a nice taste to the sauce. It's just like you can tell there's something different when it's in there, and I like the difference. Here's a tablespoon of brown sugar. And then I like to add a pinch of my favorite herbs. So I have thyme, just a pinch, basil, and oregano. Yeah, just a pinch of each of those. And then my secret weapon that I've always found just adds a nice dimension to the sauce is just a couple real quick hits of ground allspice. I don't know why, but it's just really nice full-bodied sauce with the allspice in there. Again, not something you're going to see your typical Italian use, but it works. So, you know, you want to season with salt and pepper. And then right at the end, as the sauce is just finishing up, I'd like to add just a little splash of half and half. It's very little. Doesn't add a lot of cream. It just adds a nice richness to the sauce. It just makes it taste so much more velvety and luscious. So anyway, that's it. So at this point, this is done, and I like to cook it down for just a few minutes, just to get it just reduced a little bit. So you come up with basically a nice looking sauce like this, and you can serve it over your spaghetti squash, and have hopefully at the end of the night something that looks a little bit like this. So anyway, enjoy.